few minutes, be home in a few minutes. We're located right in the heart of the Bible Belt.
In the end, David said, I have sinned.
Being able to go on Friday night, to watch your children play football or watch your daughter cheerlead as I did, that's what small towns are all about.
She was the middle sister, and I was the youngest. Teresa loved everybody. She loved family. That was the most important thing to her. You think of the best sister you could have, and she was. Definitely.
She's one of our own. She's 911 dispatcher. She's that person on the other end of the radio. When you're in need, she's there.
When I hugged her that night, I just got this feeling that I was never going to see her again.
Hey, this is Teresa.
Saturday, I just kept trying to call her.
Hey, it's just me. I was just checking on you.
I called her just over and over and over.
Call me. I was kind of worried about you.
I was so panicked. She is nowhere to be found. And you don't want to think the worst, but, I mean, you do.
This case is about a 911 dispatcher and a city police officer. A married couple, and one had turned up missing.
It's like a horrible dream I can't wake up from. I miss her a lot.
People came out in hundreds to search for her. We covered about 175 square miles of landmass. So the community as a whole was very concerned about Teresa Parker missing.
I am hopeful they'll find her. I hope they find her in good health.
Every morning when I open my eyes, I think about her. At night when I lay my head down to go to sleep, I think about her. Teresa, where could she be?
I don't believe that she would have just vanished off the face of the earth.
We knew that this was not the typical missing person case in Walker County. This was going to be bigger than Walker County when it was all said and done.
The Secret. Tonight's 48 Hours Mystery. The mystery continues in 90 seconds.
You're watching Joy TV 10.
This summer, everyone gets Ford employee pricing. So you pay what we pay on the smartest, safest, and most innovative vehicles we've ever built. Innovations like the EcoBoost engine, providing more power with better fuel efficiency. So take the Drive One Challenge and experience the best-selling lineup in Canada. For your favorite Ford, your employee price, and up to $12,000 in total price adjustments, just visit your Ford store or Ford.ca today.
How many times has this happened to you? Well, never again with the new Benchmark Accurate Tape, only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. The rugged 25-foot Benchmark Accurate Tape features a pencil holder and a pinpoint marker for ease and precision. There's a magnifier for easier reading and an LED light for accurate measurement. The Benchmark Accurate Tape. For good measure, it's just $17.97.
Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations.
The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
It was the first day of spring.
March 21st, 2007, a time of new beginnings for Teresa Parker, according to her sister, Christina Hall.
She was at my house Wednesday night for about an hour, and we talked, and she wanted me to go to her new place.
The 911 dispatcher and her police officer husband, Sam Parker, after 13 years of marriage, were divorcing.
The marriage was playing itself out, but it wasn't in a bad way.
Teresa was getting ready to move into her own apartment near her sister and nephews.
She was just so excited to be closer and be able to help us out with them and spend more time with them.
But when the sisters said their goodbyes that Wednesday night, Christina says something was different.
When I hugged her that night, I just got the emptiest feeling, and it was really strange.
The sisters didn't talk at all the next day, Thursday, and Christina figured Teresa was just busy cleaning her new place. But by Friday morning, March 23rd, that empty feeling in her gut was back.
I just woke up and felt like I had this black cloud over me, and I'm not usually like that. And I thought, I'm going to talk to Teresa. She always made me feel better.
Teresa didn't answer her phone. Christina went to work, still hoping she'd hear from her sister at any moment.
But every time the phone would ring, I'd check the ID to see if it was her.
Could it be Teresa?
I thought, well, she'll be calling any time since I've left her a message, because it was odd that she didn't call me right back. Walker 911.
Meanwhile, Teresa's friend and co-worker, Rhonda Knox, was also getting worried after a strange early morning call on Thursday, March 22nd.
And at 6 o'clock in the morning, my phone rings, and it's from Teresa, and I answer it. And there's just a few seconds there, and then I hang up.
Rhonda knew it was odd for Teresa to call and hang up.
I thought, this isn't Teresa, you know. So I called it back. It rang, and then went to voicemail. And then I started calling my house. I started getting worried.
To ease her mind, she called police officer and friend Shane Green and asked him as a favor to check out the home Teresa still shared with her soon-to-be ex, police officer Sam Parker.
So when Shane went to the house, did he call you? What did he say?
He was saying, okay, we beat on the door. And I told him, I said, look in the garage. She parks in the garage every time. And he shined in there, and he told me, he said, her car's not here.
It's around 6:30 a.m. Teresa's Toyota 4Runner was nowhere to be found, but her husband Sam Parker's patrol car was in the garage, and his pickup truck was parked outside the house in plain sight. Strangely, Thursday afternoon, Teresa's SUV was back at the house, but still no one had seen her, and she wasn't answering her cell phone.
Teresa, I'm really worried about you and your compound. Teresa, it's Roger. She'll give me a call. Call me whenever you get a chance. Please call me if you get this. Please, I love you, guys.
Everyone was calling her, including husband Sam Parker.
Teresa, this is Sam. It's Friday night, 3 o'clock. Just wondering about you, where you are.
More than 24 hours had come and gone with no word from Teresa. Her sister Christina was frantic.
There were just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I knew something so horrible. I was scared to death.
Then on that Friday evening, March 23rd, Christina got a call from her brother-in-law, Sam Parker. He was on patrol, working the night shift.
I could immediately tell with him something wasn't right, because he was talking really fast, and he kept clearing his throat, and that was just out of character. And I was like, well, we need to do something. We need to file a missing persons report. You know this is not Teresa.
Christina says Parker told her he'd gone fishing with a buddy that Thursday morning, and that when he left the house, Teresa's SUV was in the garage. But if Christina was panicked, Sam Parker seemed anything but.
He said, well, I'm at work right now, but now when I get off work in the morning, I'll see what I can do.
And who ended up filing the missing persons report?
My mom did the next morning.
Saturday morning, March 24th, 2007, day 3. Teresa's family calls the police.
Sheriff Wilson.
Walker County Sheriff Steve Wilson.
Our detective was assigned the missing person case. He told me, Sheriff said something's just not right here.
Wilson knew this case was just too personal for him to investigate. He not only knew Teresa from 911, he'd gone to the police academy with Sam Parker. So he called in the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
He called me about 5 o'clock on a Saturday and stated he had a missing 911 dispatcher who was married to a Lafayette police officer, and he asked for GBI assistance.
Special Agent James Harris headed straight for Teresa's new apartment, looking for any clues.
We found a few odds and ends, some clothes, some shoes, her 911 uniform. We found where Lowe's had stopped in to deliver a washer and dryer that she had previously purchased, and she wasn't there, so they left one of the flyers on the doorknob.
We all need to pray for her safe return and pray that our greatest fears do not become reality, and no harm has come to her yet.
With no sign of Teresa, neighbors and friends joined together. Agent James Harris was eager to talk with Sam Parker. And on Sunday, March 25th, 4 days after Teresa went missing, Sam Parker, the police officer, wasn't the one asking the questions.
What did Sam tell you in that interview?
I knew that we had to lock him in on a timeline. And one of the things that jumped out at me immediately was that he said he was in his truck the whole night.
But 3 people had already told Agent Harris a different story. They saw Parker's truck parked at Sam and Teresa's house early that Thursday morning.
And Sam is telling you he was driving around in his truck.
That's correct. So then that's when red flags started going up and Sam became a suspect in my eyes. I couldn't understand why he'd lie about something that small. At least I thought was that small at the time.
I've not got anything to hide. I've not got anything to lie about.
Sam Parker believed Teresa had gone off on her own because they were divorcing, so he couldn't understand why investigators were looking at him.
It must have been strange
Very strange.
as a police officer to
be in uniform, yeah, and be and looked at, yeah.
Law enforcement was facing a real mystery. What happened, and why couldn't anyone find the police officer's wife?
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you by Volkswagen's Volksfest sales event. It's the Moe's. They're going back! And Staples has slashed the prices on back-to-school essentials. Check out our huge selection of must-have supplies, all under $1. Staples. That was easy.
Imagine using this to give almost any surface a beautiful stone or tile finish as easily as painted. You can with Hard Rock by Beauty Tone, only at Home Hardware and Home Building Center. With Hard Rock, you just prime, roll it on like paint, and seal it up. Tough, non-toxic, and tinted in a range of colors. No coating is easier to apply than Hard Rock, only at Home Hardware.
Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Hey, Mike, or Michael. I've noticed that you're switching it up lately, eating healthier. You got some Fiber One, too? 52% of your daily fiber. Oh, honey clusters, huh? Looks tasty. So, good. Maybe we could go out. It's me, Mike.
Meet your healthy lifestyle. Step 1 is Fiber One. Okay, we are ready for the saving lecture.
Yeah, you know all the sacrifices that we have to make.
Oh yeah, and the total lifestyle overhaul.
Oh, yeah, and the condescending finger wag.
Oh yeah, the wag is great.
Actually, we can help you each save an extra $1,500 this year automatically by saving every time you pay with your debit card, your credit card, and with every paycheck.
Well, I'll be.
A Scotia advisor can show you how you can let the clicking begin. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.